Good morning, grade 11 students. In this lecture, we're going to start about a new lesson and about a new chapter talking about the reproductive systems. And here we're going to talk about the male and the female reproductive systems. So first of all, let's talk about what are the primary sexual organs and the secondary sexual organs. Before this, we have to talk about reproduction. Reproduction, it needs both male and female. In order reproduction to occur, we need both males and female. So what are the primary sexual organs? The primary sexual organs, they are the organs that are responsible for the production of the gametes. What are the gametes? The sperm and the ovum. The sperm is the male gamete and the ovum is the female gamete. And also the primary sexual hormones that we are going to determine them and we're going to talk about them later on. Also, they are known as by gonads. So the primary sexual organs, they are the organs responsible for the production of gametes and the primary sexual hormones. They are also known as by the gonads. However, the secondary sexual organs, they are the organs that support the function of the gonads, that help the function of the gonads during the formation of gametes, during their maturation, and also their delivery, also known as accessory organs. So here we have to know about gonads. They are responsible for the production and the production of gamete and also the primary sexual hormones, also known as by the gonads. And the secondary sexual organs, they are known by the accessory organs. They help the gonads during their functioning and during their delivery of the gametes and their maturation. What are the gametes? The male gamete, as I said, it's the sperm cell. While the female gamete, here it's called the egg cell, and we're going to discuss this later. Hormones. The male primary hormone, or it's called the male primary sexual hormone, it's called the testosterone. However, the female primary sexual hormone is called the estrogen and the progesterone. So first, what are the male gamete? What is the male gamete? It's the sperm cell. What is the male primary sexual hormone? It's called the testosterone. However, the female gamete egg cell, it's called the ovum, and the female primary sexual hormones, they are called the estrogen and progesterone. So let's start first with the primary sexual hormones, primary sexual organs, and we talk about the gonads, we talk about the hormones. Now we're going to move to the male reproductive system. All of you, you know they have the male has a reproductive system and also the female has a reproductive system. And this male reproductive system, we're going to talk about the penis, which is the male copulatory organ. We're going to talk about the testes as well as the scrotum. We're going to talk about the role of epididymis, and we're going to talk about the role of the vas deferens, or it's called the vas differentia, and we're going to talk about the seminal vesicles. So pay attention to start step by step to move to the male reproductive system. First, let's talk about the testes. Testes, they are the site of the production of the sperm cells. They are the site where the sperm cells they are produced and they give the male gametes, they are the sperm cells. Also, the testes, they are the site of the production of the male sexual hormone, the primary male sexual hormone, which is called the testosterone. So this is the role of the testes, is the site of production of the sperm cells, and also is the site of the production of the testosterone. As such, testes they are referred to as the male gonads. Each testis is composed of numerous seminiferous tubules. During in these seminiferous tubules, we have the development of the sperm cells. So first, we said the testis is the site of production of the sperm cells, and also is the site of the production of the primary male sexual hormone, the testosterone. We said that the testes they are referred to as the male gonads. However, each testicle is composed of numerous seminiferous tubules, as shown in these figures. And you have also Leydig cells and Sertoli cells. We're going to talk about them later. So these seminiferous tubules, they are the site inside the testes where the sperms develop. Each testis, as I said, is composed of seminiferous tubules, as shown in these figures. Let's move now to talk about these tubules. These seminiferous tubules, they are surrounded by a special type of cell. These special type of cells, they are called Sertoli cells. These Sertoli cells, they have an important function. They provide the nourishment for the developing cells, sperm cells. They develop the nourishment, they nourish the developing cells. They give them the nutrients needed. So these Sertoli cells, they are known to provide the nourishment for the developing sperms. And you have to know the function of these Sertoli cells. It's very important. Also, between the seminiferous tubules, we have interstitial cells known as the Leydig cells. Leydig cells, they are responsible for the production of testosterone. So these Leydig cells, they are responsible for the production of testosterone. What is the testosterone? It's the primary male sexual hormone, the testosterone. So I repeat, the Sertoli cell provide the nourishment to the developing sperms. Also, the Leydig cells, they have a role for the production of the testosterone. So here we have two important cells. The Leydig cells, number one, the Leydig cells, and number two, the Sertoli cells and the Leydig cells, sorry. So Sertoli cell, they provide the nourishment to the developing sperms, as well as the Leydig cells, they have a role in the production of the male primary sexual hormone, the testosterone. Here we have to study the function of each, the Sertoli cell and the Leydig cell. So till now we talked about the testis. We said that the testis is the site of production of the sperm cells, the male gametes, as well as the primary sexual hormone testosterone. We said that testes they are referred to as the male gonads. We said the testis is composed of seminiferous tubules where the sperm they develop. We have these tubules, the seminiferous tubules mean they are surrounded by Sertoli cell, and this Sertoli cell it provides the nourishment for the developing sperms. Between the tubules we have the Leydig cells. They have important role in the production of the male primary sexual hormone testosterone. So here, the pathway of the sperm cells inside the MRS. MRS, here I mean the male reproductive system. So first, they are produced, I mean the sperm cells. They are produced at the level of the testes. Then they move. We talk about the scrotum. Scrotum, it's a sac-like structure. It's found outside the abdominal cavity of males. The testes, they are found inside it. These are like sac, like a sac. It has a role in the protection of the testes. It protects the testes and it maintains the optimum temperature for the functioning and the production of the sperm cells. So it gives an optimum temperature, the best temperature for the production of the sperm cell, which is called the scrotum. So this is the scrotum. It's a sac-like structure where the testes they are found. This is found outside the abdominal cavity, outside the abdomen, and it has a role in maintaining optimum temperature and for the production and the maturation of the sperm cells, as well as protection role. Moving now to talk about the epididymis. The sperm cells, after they are produced at the level of the seminiferous tubules, they have an irregular network of ducts. They have a pathway to move on. They move toward epididymis. What is the epididymis? Here you have to know this. Epididymis is the site of the temporal storage. and the final maturation of the sperms. So here, the site of the temporary storage and the final maturation of sperms, where they acquire motility. What the meaning of motility? You become able to move. So it's the temporary storage site, and it's the final maturation site of the sperms, where they acquire the motility and they become viable at temperature 37 degrees Celsius. So epididymis is the site of the temporary storage and the final maturation of the sperm. They acquire motility at the level of the epididymis and they become viable at temperature 37 degrees Celsius. So the second checkpoint is the epididymis. First we have the testes, second we have epididymis. Number three we have the vas deferens, or it's called by the vas differentia, or the spermiduct. What does this mean? The sperm cells they are produced at the level of the testes. They move to their temporary storage site, the epididymis, where they acquire their motility. From the epididymis, they move to the sperm cells. They move toward the vas deferens, or the spermiduct, or the vas differentia, which is the pathway of the sperm cells where they are moving to. So they move toward the vas deferens. Then they move toward something called the seminal vesicle. It's a glandular dilation at the distal end of the vas deferens. The seminal vesicles, they are vesicles that work as a reservoir, that are a reserve site where the sperm cells they are stored pending their ejaculation before they are ejaculated through the semen. So here, the seminal vesicles, they are the reservoir where the sperm cells are stored, waiting for their ejaculation. So this is the function of the seminal vesicle. So till now, we have four checkpoints. We have first the testis, then epididymis, then vas deferens, then we move toward the seminal vesicles. Here we have the prostate gland. Prostate gland, it works with the seminal vesicles and also another gland, it's called the Cowper's gland, to produce the seminal fluid. The seminal fluid, it contains sugar, which is a kind of fructose. It contains minerals. It contains fatty acids and vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin E, and other vitamins. These nutrients, they are needed in order to adjust and to calibrate the acidity of the female reproductive system. That's why it will decrease the acidity of the female reproductive system so the sperm can enter inside the female reproductive system in order for the reproduction to occur and for fertilization to occur. This is needed, these nutrients like fatty acids, like the vitamins A and B, and also as well as the fructose and minerals, they are needed to adjust the acidity of the female reproductive system, as well as for the nourishment, survival, and the motility of the sperm. So they need sugar, especially the fructose. It's needed in the form of energy to make or to help in the movement of the sperm cells. Here, the seminal fluid, it contains the sperm cells. Whenever it contains the sperm cell, in addition to these nutrients, the fructose, the vitamins, and the fatty acids, they form what's known by the semen. This is the semen, which is the seminal fluid, plus the sperm cells. So here we have the pathway, till now we have the testes. We talk about the epididymis, which is the temporary storage site for the sperm cells, and they become viable at 37 degrees Celsius. Vas deferens, which is the spermiduct, where they move and they pass through the vas deferens and the seminal vesicle, where they are stored pending their ejaculation. We talk about the prostate gland, which along the seminal vesicle and the Cowper's gland, they form the seminal fluid. This seminal fluid, it contains sugar in the form of fructose. It contains vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin B, and other types of vitamins. Contain fatty acids. These are uh, associated with the help of the sperm cells to form the semen. These nutrients, as I said, they are needed to lubricate and to adjust the acidity of the female reproductive system. As you know, the female reproductive system, it's acidic. So in order to sperm cell to enter inside the to enter inside the female reproductive system and to lubricate this acidity, it needs something to decrease the acidity. So these nutrients, they have an important role in lubrication of the acidity of the female reproductive system. Now, the sperm cells, they move from the seminal vesicles and move to the prostate gland to reach the urethra. Urethra and the penis, which is the male reproductive system. What is the urethra? Urethra, it's the urogenital tube. Urogenital, what is the meaning of urogenital? Urogenital tube. Urogenital tube, uro, it's related to urine. Genital, it's related to the genital system or it's related to the reproductive system. So here, the urethra, it's connected to both the excretory system, where it carries urine from the urinary bladder, and also it's connected to the reproductive system, the genital system, where it carries the seminal fluid and the sperm cell. When ejaculation is done or it's due, the sperms they are poured inside the urethra. So the sperms they are poured inside the urethra and the semen. So I repeat, urethra is the urogenital tube. It's connected to the excretory system where it carries urine, and it's connected to the reproductive system where it's carrying the seminal fluids and the sperm cells. Okay, so here they move into the urethra. Whenever they move into the urethra, they move toward the penis. Penis is known that it's the male copulatory organ. It's the male reproductive organ or the male copulatory organ. It's called the penis. At the top of the penis, we have the urogenital opening. Urogenital opening is for both. It's for the excretion of both the urine and the excretion of the semen or the sperm cells and the seminal fluid. So here it's called the urogenital opening. So the penis is the male copulatory organ through which the semen is going to be ejected out of the urogenital opening. So here is the male copulatory organ. So here the pathway is almost complete from the testes where they are produced, the sperm cells, and the male sexual or primary sexual hormone, testosterone. Moving to the epididymis, where it's the temporary storage site for the sperm cells, where they become viable and acquire their motility and become viable at temperature 37. Vas deferens, or the spermy duct, which is the duct for the sperm cells to pass through. It's called the vas deferens or vas differentia or the spermy duct. Then they reach toward the seminal vesicles where are stored pending their ejaculation. Urethra, where they pass through the from the seminal vesicles toward the urethra. We said that the sperm cells with the seminal fluids containing all the nutrients, they form the semen. And then from the urethra, they reach toward the urogenital opening where they are going to be ejaculated during the ejaculation process. So here it's the male reproductive system. It's almost done. What do we have to do? We have to review the notes about the male reproductive system. We have to study some of the notes related to the male reproductive system. You have to study what's the role of the Sertoli cell, what is the role of the leading cell, what is the role of the epididymis, what is the role of the vas deferens, what is the role of the seminal vesicles, and also you have to know what's the role of the urogenital opening as well as the role of the penis and what is the definition of the penis. You have to study all these notes. Now let's move to talk about the female reproductive system. Let's give a small introduction, and in the next session we can continue to talk about the uh, female reproductive system. So the female reproductive system. All of you know about the ovaries. Ovaries, they are the site of the production of the egg cells, the site of the production of the female gametes. They are also the site of the production of the estrogen and progesterone, which are the primary female sexual hormones. The ovaries also they are known as the gonads. So the female gonads they are the ovaries, while the male gonads they are the testes. The testes they produce the sperm cells, while the ovaries they produce the egg cells, the female gametes. The testes they produce the primary male sexual hormone, the testosterone. However, the ovaries they produce the estrogen and progesterone, which are the primary female sexual hormones. So, tracing the pathway of the egg cells inside the female reproductive system, we have first the ovaries, which are the site of the production of the female gametes, the egg cells, and also we have the oviduct. Oviduct, they have another name. They are called the fallopian tube, or they have another name. They are called the uterine tube. When the egg it's on due time, it will be released into the fallopian tube. When we have an egg cell, it's released, so it will stay in the fallopian tube. It will stay in the fallopian tube and they will wait for about 24 to 48 hours, waiting for a sperm to come and fertilize it. Then it will descend toward the uterus. It's the womb or the uterus is the site of implantation where the embryo will be implanted. So here the egg cell will wait for about 24 to 48 hours to be fertilized by sperm. This happens, or if it doesn't happen, it will move toward this uterus. So this is called the oviduct or the fallopian tube. This is the last point I'm going to talk about it in this session, which is the uterus. Uterus, if fertilization occurs, the uterus will be the site of implantation and the development of the embryo till the end of the gestation period. What is the gestation period? It's the pregnancy period. The uterus is also known by the womb. So here, the womb or the uterus is the site of implantation and development of the embryo till the end of gestation. Till the end of the gestation period is known as the womb or the uterus. So till now, I talk about three different parts of the female reproductive system. We talk about the ovaries. We talk about the oviduct here, which is called the fallopian tube or the uterine tube, where the egg cell is going to wait here at this region, waiting for the waiting for the sperm to fertilize it and to come and fertilize it at the end of the 24 to 48 hours. If it's not fertilized or it's fertilized, the descent toward the uterus, whether or not fertilization took place. So here, the oviduct and the uterus, we said that's the organ of implantation where the embryo is going to be implanted if fertilization occurs. So here, I'm going to make a quick revision about what we have explained in this session. So we talked about the male reproductive system. We talked about the different parts of the male reproductive system. We talked about the testes. We could talk about the epidermis. We talk about the vas deferens or the vas differentia. We talk about the seminal vesicles and their role. We talk about the prostate gland and their function. And also we talk about their urethra, the urogenital opening, and also we talk about the penis, which is the male copulatory organ. Also in the female reproductive system, we talk about the ovary, and we talk about the oviduct, as well as the uterus. So this is all for our session for today. Next time, we're going to continue with the female reproductive system and to talk about the different nodes about the female reproductive system.